Hey y'all! I was finally able to get my hands on some of the Series 3 Rainbow High dolls. The German drugstore chain Miller recently slashed their prices down to €24.99, so I took that chance and scooped some of the girls up. Sadly, of the two ones that I wanted the most, Georgia and Daphne, they only had Daphne, but I hope to get Georgia as well as the rest of the girls later down the line. Now this video is going to be a makeover video of Daphne. I want to give her a Winter Wonderland makeover. Here in Europe, the days are getting shorter, the weather is getting colder. We're approaching December, so I take that inspiration and turn her into a winter princess. So let's get into this makeover. Before we start with the makeover, let's take a closer look at her. I really love Daphne's artwork, but as far as replicating the design of her artwork goes, I think the doll falls short. The crimping of the hair is not as defined and the hair is too long if you compare it to what the artwork presents. But I think the doll herself has a much different spirit to her artwork that makes her even prettier. She's got this woodland fairy nymph thing going on with her color scheme and her eyes. And the color scheme of the makeover is going to be white, gold and mint. I think that suits her the most. And when I took her earrings out, sadly, her ear holes were stained a bit, but that's not going to be a problem. As in this makeover, I'm going to give her earrings to hide that. While I do love a bit of a crimp and wave to hair, I think the way they did it on the doll makes it look a bit messy, so I'm going to straighten her hair and give her a different hairstyle. I recently discovered a pretty easy way to create knee highs or stockings for your doll. I think it's always a plus if you're able to hide these knee joints, because when taking pictures they can sometimes take you out of the fantasy. Now you all might remember this fabric. This is the same fabric that I had used on my makeover video for Ruby. What I'm going to do is lay down the fabric. This part is the factory hemline, so this is going to be the part that will be up her thigh. So you just need to wrap a piece around her leg, measure the length of her leg, and then sew along the line. Now that you got your piece of fabric, cut it in half. Now take each piece and fold it in half as well. You can sew it using needle and thread. I personally use a sewing machine, but this fabric is not easy to use with a sewing machine because the machine is going to eat it. That's why I'm taking some parchment paper and wrap it around it. Then I'm going to pin it and then I'll sew it. To make the sewing process even easier for you, you can take a pencil and draw a shape along where you want to sew. Now the most important part while sewing the knee-high socks is you have to sew the upper part as well as the part her feet gets into shut by using a back stitch. After sewing the socks, you can now gently tear the parchment paper along the seam line and cut away the excess fabric. You can now start to turn the socks inside out. You can use a pencil like this to gently push without tearing the fabric. Now when it comes to her outfit, I want to sew a tube dress for her. It's going to be easy and quick. I found these fluffy socks at a store that sells everything for just €1, so I'm just going to cut the sock. The upper part of the sock is already hemmed, so you just need to hem this part. When you're finished hemming the tube dress, wrap the dress around the body of Daphne to see where you have to sew along the line. It has to be looser on the bottom because her hips are wider than her bust, so it has to be tighter around the bust. So you can now draw the shape along this line. As you can see, I'm pretty much an improv kind of guy when it comes to sewing. I'll just trust my intuition and my gut feeling. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to end up looking good. The dress is now finished. To give it a bit more shape, you can tie a belt around her waist. Now comes what's more or less the most intricate part of this makeover, because I'm going to take this pillowcase here and I want to make a fluffy fur coat for Daphne. Lay Daphne on top of the pillowcase and cut out a rectangle that's approximately this size. It goes down to her knee, so you still have some room left to hem the fabric. Now don't forget that this is a pillowcase, so when I cut it out, this is both the front as well as the back. Now cut along this part, so you're able to have room for her sleeves. It should end up looking like this. Now as far as the sleeves go, you can take her arm and see how long it needs to be, and then cut out 2 squares. Take each sleeve, fold the upper part, and hem along this line. I've now hemmed both the bottom part of the body of the coat, as well as the back side of the bottom part, as well as both sleeve pieces. I will now take each sleeve, put them on the body part of the coat, and sew along this line. When I'm finished, I'll flip it over, and then I'll sew along this and this line. I'm now finished with Daphne's coat. I turned the good side out and cut open this part so Daphne can slide in. Now that we've finished creating all our main outfit pieces, we can start styling Daphne's hair. First things first, I've got my trusty spray bottle here. There's a mixture of 1 teaspoon of fabric softener as well as half a cup of water inside. You can start spraying it onto Daphne's hair. So that's going to make it easier for us to brush through it. Now I've got this steamer. I actually bought this to iron my silk shirts because silk is a very delicate fabric. You can't use a normal iron on it. Now I'm going to use the heat of this steamer to straighten Daphne's hair. Using a steamer is actually a very straightforward process. You take the steamer, blow the hot steam on top of her hair, the fibers then heat up, and you can just brush through the hair, making it much straighter than it was before. Now Daphne is looking very pretty with straight hair already. Of course, you can also boil wash her hair, but I find this process a little nicer as it won't completely wetten the hair. It just gets a little damp and therefore her hair dries a lot quicker than if you dunk it completely underwater. I'm going to use some leave-in conditioner to moisture her hair, and then I'm going to continue on with the styling. Now what I'm going to do is take 2 strands from a mid part, and then I'm going to tie them behind her back, because this is going to hide her hair plugs, because I find these a bit unseemly. So there you have it. She's looking very snatched. I decided to give her a high ponytail because I feel it accentuates the fact that she's got straight hair now. I also wrapped some gold jewelry around the elastic band to hide the elastic band and gave her a cute little gold glitter headband. It's very preppy, but also very gaudy at the same time. Now let's decide onto which kind of accessories I want to give her and change her into her makeover transformation outfit. I wanted to use this cute little ring that I found at the store that sells everything for just €1. I got this for 55 cents as a choker, but when I opened up the ring to put it onto her neck, this piece broke off. So I'm now going to just remove this piece and then I'll glue it onto some ribbon. Using cheap metal jewelry like this kind of automatically upgrades the look of your doll. It makes it instantly look more luxe without having to spend a lot of money on her. I also got this necklace. I'm going to detach some of the pieces and then I'll secure them onto her ears with these plastic studs that I got from a Steffi Love doll. I'm going to use this soft pink gift wrapping ribbon to tie around her waist as a belt. And on top of it, I'm going to place this gold metal jewelry to make the belt look even more luxurious. Now that we're finished with the makeover, let's take a look at the before and get into the final result. I think the look came out pretty cute. Aside from the shoes, everything you see here was created by me. As far as the color scheme goes and the different kinds of textures and fabrics used, I think it all complements each other and gives a warm, fuzzy winter wonderland feeling. I think she turned out very cute, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I think this makeover transformation was quite successful. So if you liked watching this video, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. A shout out to my growing subscriber base. I saw that I managed to cross the 50 subscriber threshold, so a big thank you to everyone who supports this channel. I would love to see it grow even bigger. If you'd like to see more transformation like these, comment down below and I might catch you in the next video. Bye for now.